They were the first person to congratulate you, loudly, in front of everyone. And something about it felt wrong in a way you couldn't explain without sounding paranoid. You replayed it later, in the shower, probably, because that's where we do our most honest thinking. The smile was right, the words were right, but the eyes were doing something else entirely. Something that looked almost like disappointment wrapped in a ribbon. That's your first clue. Not what they said. What their face did when they thought you weren't looking. Welcome back to the Confident Connection Lab. Today, we need to talk about frenemies. Not the dramatic, obvious kind from bad teen movies. The real kind. The ones sitting at your lunch table, in your group chat, at your job's Slack channel, smiling, contributing, occasionally hyping you up just enough to keep you from questioning them. The ones who are impossible to call out because they've never technically done anything wrong. Here's the definition nobody gives you. A frenemy is someone whose social and emotional interests are structurally in conflict with yours, but who maintains the performance of friendship because the proximity benefits them. That's it. That's the whole architecture. It's not about malice. It's about incentive. They don't have to hate you. They just need your stumble to feel a little bit like a win. Psychology has a name for that feeling. Schadenfreude, German word, naturally, because German has a word for everything uncomfortable that English is too polite to name. It means the pleasure derived from another person's misfortune. And before you flinch at that, before you think I would never feel that, understand this. Every human brain is capable of Schadenfreude. It's wired into our threat detection system. When someone we perceive as a rival struggles, a very old part of our brain quietly registers. Good. The field just leveled. The problem isn't that frenemies are monsters. The problem is that they're just human enough to be confusing. They feel Schadenfreude and then feel guilty about it, so they overcompensate with praise that lands slightly too loud, slightly too late. And you, being the overthinker you are, catch the frequency without being able to name the signal. I want to tell you about a moment, a specific one. I was at a gathering, the kind where everyone knows everyone, and the air smells like performance, and I had just gotten some good news, real good news, the kind you've been waiting on for months, and I made the mistake of sharing it in the group. I watched one person's face in particular. The smile came fast. Almost too fast, like it was already loaded. Then came the question, oh wow, how did that happen? In that specific tone that isn't really curiosity, it's archaeology digging for the flaw in the foundation. My stomach dropped before my brain caught up. That's the thing about frenemy detection. Your body gets there first. The tightening in the chest, the slight warmth behind the ears. Something is off. And your nervous system filed the report before your conscious mind even opened the email. So let's name the dynamic. I call it the glass friend framework, because a glass friend looks like the real thing, holds the right shape, but the moment there's pressure, you find out it was never built for weight. Here's what the framework identifies as the 3 core signals you're dealing with. Signal 1, the backhanded orbit. They stay close to you, specifically when things are going well for you, and become mysteriously unavailable during your low points. This isn't coincidence. Proximity to your wins serves them socially. Your loss is just boring to them. Signal 2, the competitive echo. Every story you tell gets matched, topped, or subtly redirected back to them. You got a promotion, they almost got a better one. You're struggling. They struggled worse once, and look at them now. The conversation is a mirror that only reflects their face. Signal 3, the soft leak. Information you shared privately finds its way back to you through other people, lightly edited, slightly more dramatic. They didn't lie exactly. They just narrated, and the narration happened to make you look a little smaller than you are. Here's what I need you to understand about these signals. They are not reasons to burn the relationship down. Not in a tight social circle. Not in a workplace. Not in a friend group that overlaps like a badly drawn Venn diagram, where every circle is someone's ex or coworker or neighbor. Confrontation in these environments almost always costs the person who initiates it more than the person who caused the problem. That's the unfair math of incestuous social ecosystems. The one who names the thing becomes the thing. So instead, you protect yourself with precision, not with explosions. The Glass Friend framework gives you 3 non-confrontational moves, and I want to walk you through each one like we're in real time. Move 1, the information diet. You stop feeding them the raw material. You don't lie. You don't freeze them out visibly, you just edit. You share the news after it's already public. You mention the project once it's finished. You let them see the harvest without ever showing them where you planted the seeds. This is not deception. This is calibrated trust. The same thing you do with someone who has a history of losing your umbrella. Move 2. The warm redirect. When the competitive echo activates, when you can feel them matching your story, you do something counterintuitive. You lean into their version. That's actually really similar to what I went through, you say. And then you let them talk. You're not conceding, you're removing the competition. If there's no resistance, there's no power in the dynamic. They came for a tug of war and you just set down the rope. Move 3. The reputation garden. This one is quiet and it's long. In overlapping social circles, your reputation is a living thing. And the best defense against a soft leak is a reputation so consistent that the edited version doesn't stick. You show up the same way every time. You say what you mean in front of multiple people. You make it structurally difficult to be misrepresented because the witnesses are everywhere. You're not playing offense, you're doing landscaping. None of these moves require a confrontation. None of them require you to announce what you've figured out. The most elegant protection is invisible. You're not blocking them. You're just quietly building a house they can't redecorate. Now, take a second here. Think about the last time something felt slightly off after a conversation with someone in your circle. Not a red flag, not drama. Just that low hum, that background static of something isn't right. Whose face comes to mind? You don't have to answer that out loud, but I want you to hold that name for the next few minutes and let this land differently, because here's the thing. The self-help industry always skips. Protecting your energy inside a shared social world isn't about finding the bad guy. It's about accepting that not every friendship is built to hold your full weight and choosing, without bitterness, which ones to load test and which ones to simply appreciate from a safe structural distance. The frenemy in your life probably isn't a villain. They're just someone for whom your success creates a small internal storm they've never learned to weather. That's not your fault to fix, but it is your responsibility to notice. I have a question, and be honest in the comments because I actually read them. Do you tend to overshare good news immediately, or do you sit on it until it feels safe? I'm an immediate sharer, always have been, and it has cost me more than once. Tell me which one you are. I want to know, because if you already know which one you are, you're already halfway through learning how to protect it and where this goes next. Even more useful, there's a specific kind of person hiding in plain sight inside these same social circles. Someone you might have been calling a friend for years without realizing the relationship was running on fumes and convenience. I broke down exactly how to spot them before it costs you, the real red flags I kept missing, and why your brain filters them out on purpose. That one's right there.